You won't have to sit still for 30 seconds because you got your song.
Yeah, I'll just wait. All right, folks. Hi, there's our 30 seconds of silence. Just to hope we can get away from the bots, but just yeah, having a look. We're going to just look at one video today. I thought it might be easier rather than me downloading different documents into a StreamYard. We have one fellow from the military out here who is now ex-military, who has done a very, very good explanation on all this common law and everything else. So we're going to go through a couple of bits of that. I've put the actual link to the video. There's two in there. The BitChute one is the one that this army guy's on that you really need to listen to. And the other one is just a bit of an update for you on what's going on out there with Dr. Peter McCulloch over in America, and Australian guy, right? He's a leader, world leader in what he does, and just what's happening with the miracle jab and that over there. But yeah, just before we get into this, we do a little bit of music and that over there in the States, and we record a couple of tracks, and this just sort of come to mind, just the words in this song that people, this broadcast is also going to be about, we're going to hammer the politicians. I said that this morning, all right? I got another lady on board with me, and we're going to be banging. I'm going to name them because that's who they are, right? We got Paul Scully, we got Ryan Park, and we've got Marianne Saliba. So they're the three we're going to attack. We're going to smash them with emails, okay? And we're going to get onto them. We're going to want to talk to them publicly, and we're going to want to put some questions on them and find out what's going on and what we can do about that in Illawarra here. Okay, so just have a listen to this. This is just something we recorded over there. It's got a bit of local footage and that in it, but yeah, I think this is what we want to get back to, folks. We're to stand up so we can get back to this. Anyway, you'll know it. Sometimes when this place gets kind of eerie, sound of the breath fades with the light. Leave me here without an explanation. I'm on the Milky Way tonight. Over the curtain, down on Memphis. Over the curtain, down on Clyde. Got no time, quiet conversation. I'm on the Milky Way tonight. I wish I knew what you was looking for. I know what you find. I wish I knew what you was looking for. I wish you know what you would find. Sometimes it's reassuring and perfect. Something that's shimmering and white. Leaves me here without an explanation. I'm on the Milky Way tonight. Over the curtain, down got no time for any conversation. I'm on the way tonight. I wish I knew what you was doing. I know what you find. I wish I knew what you was doing. I know what you find. Okay, folks. So I think that, just says a little bit. Just come across my mind this morning that we done that. JS had done that actual song, and folks, I don't want to lose that. Seriously, it gets me a bit emotional, that song, because that's what we just don't want to lose. Okay, it's it's what we've got. It's a beautiful country here. Okay, and we need to keep it. So what these guys are trying to do is lower the curtain down on our life. Okay, exactly what they're trying to do, folks. Okay, so all right, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Dave Graham, and this one on a Saturday morning I don't usually do very often, but we probably have everyone conforming to what we've been told to do this morning, which is everyone stay home and be good people, and not spread around this supposed whatever it is. I can tell you what it is. It's a flu, folks, and we've all been duped. Okay, so we all know that story. I don't have to really go into that, but this latest bit of scaremongering by the government, folks, has gone way too far. Okay, just way, way too far. Now I hear that this morning, I haven't watched the news, actually. I've been on here all morning just doing stuff. And but listen, further lockdowns. That's what they're discussing this morning. So 11 o'clock, we're going to be off here by 11 o'clock so everyone can watch the update and see what these gooses are trying to put on us now. Okay, but how can you lock us down any further, folks? We're not allowed to visit our freaking family. All right, we're not allowed to go anywhere. Okay, but they're going to lock us down further. Well, guess what? I'm not really in favor of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this gentleman here. Okay, so I'm just going to slip through a couple of things, but look, this is in the notes, people. Okay, on the side in the comments. Okay, you will find the link to these. You need to watch this. This actually goes for about an hour and 10 or hour and 15. But this guy has done everything that I was talking about this morning. I'd already seen this and it just come back to memory over the last couple of days. And this guy has actually killed it with all your common law, your Biosecurity Act. Okay, everything I've spoken about. Okay, this guy is right onto it. He's going to give you some other stuff in here that you wouldn't have known, a bit more other intel and stuff. So we're going to play this. I'm going to skip through a couple of bits so we can just get it in. I've still got enough here to do a bit of talking and that and go for about half an hour or 3/4 an hour, okay? And that'll be it, folks, right? Then we'll get off. We'll have a look at the update that these gooses are thinking about putting out there and telling us what's going to happen. But anyway, let's get into this guy. So he introduces himself. And, everything this guy says is what I've been telling you about common law and about, just how we're protected. But this media is the number one. They're the number one players, okay? The media and the government over here are just going to sell us up the river, folks, okay? It's happening all around the world at the moment. It's happening in Cuba, France, South Africa. You are going to see this in every country, all right? So we need to stop what's going on. Have a look at my Facebook page today. Go scroll back through some of the stuff that I put up there. I've been loading it up all day, all right, because everyone's locked down. You've got plenty of time to look at it. So go back and have a look at what is happening around the world. We don't want it happening here, folks. We really don't. So let's just have a listen to this guy, a bit of a lesson on common law. This is very interesting, okay?
Good afternoon, people of the great southern land, people of the world. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Lucas. I'm broadcasting from the Arc Sanctuary. Yes, I'm a former Australian soldier, served in the 2nd Commando Regiment and up in Townsville. I'm doing this video due to the gravity of the tyranny, by definition, of what has been portrayed by the media and the corporate politicians. Doing this because I don't want the very people who my brothers fought and died from the battlefield to be injured by a tyrannical corporation known as government. And I also don't want my serving brothers and sisters in the military, or anyone for that matter, to be incriminating themselves by committing war crimes, which is what appears to be taking place at this moment in time, or will be in the very near future, especially with the implementation of the Australian Army into assisting private corporations, that is to say, contracting under private corporations to roll out a medical shot or jab or vax. I'm going to remind the people, the public officers watching this, and I'm going to tell them what a directive is and what a direction is, which is what they're following. So these people are all unawares and unbeknownst to themselves. They're following a directive of the Chief Health Officer, who has no authority whatsoever to make the policies he's making, the directives he's making against the private individuals and citizens of this land. The reason I'm going to explain to you what a directive is so you understand that public officers, no matter what capacity you're working in, whether it's police, as a public officer, as an army officer, as an army private, any government capacity, any private capacity, medical doctors, nurses, anyone who may be administering.
Listen to what he's saying, folks. This is all backed up.
The rollout of the jab and the forced lockdown of the population, which again is a crime in itself. So, Chief Health Directives, which is what most people are following, most police officers or public officers, they're acting in the capacity of, they're not actually acting in the capacity of a police officer, because they are not acting under Section 51 of the Victoria Police Act in Victoria, which is they must abide by the common law first and foremost, they must. And everything else after that may be done if it's in accordance with the law. So they're actually, by wearing a police uniform, they're acting under colour of uniform and presenting to be a police officer. But because they're acting ultra vires, that is to say, beyond their lawful authority, they're actually not acting as a police officer, but they're acting as a public officer, which is a completely different definition. And a public officer is one who is working and collecting taxes, basically. So
we need to understand, folks, what the difference is between these two, okay? But this guy's going to spell it out for you, okay? So we're not going to have enough time to watch this whole thing, but it's in the comments, okay? So I'm just going to take it forward to about go to about the 10-minute mark. We'll just start here, right? Just because he's starting.
Unless we're at war, which of course, by lawful definition, we are. But it's not the kind of war that you think of and see in the movies. This is a silent war by big corporations against the people of this nation. The very people that my friends fought and died for on the battlefield. The same brothers that I picked up off the battlefield fought and died for the people of this country, for their rights and freedoms, which this tyrannical government and media is attempting to take away.
The media, folks.
So the only people who should be getting arrested right now are the corrupt politicians, the media who are promoting this tyranny, because that's what they're doing. Let's have a look at the definition of tyranny.
Okay, so we all know what
terrorism.
We know what tyranny is, folks. Okay, so I'll just go through to about the 13th minute. Okay, because we just want to pick up on what he starts to get. Although I don't want to miss something he's going to say about our military, actually.
So that's the definition of terrorism.
All right.
By definition, the politicians, working hand in hand with the media and the police, are committing terrorist acts against the public of this great southern land, of which I will not stand and watch.
And not many of us are going to.
Next, what is a conspiracy?
Okay. Here we
Well,
go.
let's talk about conspiracy theories. What is happening now is a conspiracy fact. Conspiracy, a secret plan to commit a crime or do harm, often for political ends. A plot. A secret plan to commit a crime or do harm, often for political ends. Well, we know that the forcing of this jab, of this vax, which is affecting thousands of people, killing thousands of people, for hundreds of thousands by now, and maiming them, giving them permanent disability. And this is only just been rolled out. This is only the side effects after a couple of months. This is an experimental act that is taking place, and it is in direct violation of the Nuremberg Code.
Right, start listening now, folks. Okay.
As we remember, public officers, it behooves you to remember that in the Nuremberg trials, the excuse of just following orders did not stand up in court. Every single one of you individuals is responsible for the actions you take, and it is your responsibility to make sure that it is within the law.
Common law.
I'm going to explain to you now
Here we go.
how it is well and truly far outside the law. In fact, if they're just directives, they haven't even been passed by Parliament or ratified by Parliament.
Which we all know that they haven't, folks.
According
Okay.
to the Law Dictionary.
They've pulled a executive,
So we have a conspiracy, all right.
Yeah.
We have the media working hand in hand with the politicians, working for the United Nations, another private company, working for the International Monetary Fund, another private company. That's who the police are working for, collecting taxes, I believe.
Yep.
To try and regain the debt they created out of nothing.
And just think about all your cameras, folks. How about all the revenue, right? How they're handing out all these fines. They make the most of every situation, mate. Not even putting us into panic and doing what they're doing, locking us down, but just taking even more money off us. You know what I mean? We've exposed the timber shortages, bullshit, and all the rest of it. But just look what they're doing. They have every avenue of this friggin' thought about and covered. Okay, they're going all out.
By the way, all that debt should be owed directly to the Commonwealth.
Us, the people.
Directly back into the people's pockets. Because the bank should be a Commonwealth bank. One owned by the Commonwealth being the people.
We have the central bank owned by the Rothschilds.
Not the Commonwealth being the Parliament. There is two Commonwealths. The Commonwealth being the people. I was going to go through the definition of freedom and slavery, but I think we all know that we are, by definition, the population is in slavery. By very definition. It is not in freedom at all. Period.
We just take this up to just around 1640, I think it was. We'll just go. Just go from here again.
Period.
All right. So when he gets the newspaper clipping, this is going to put the pieces together here, folks. What's coming on? Okay. We need to stand up. Okay. Look at the expression on this guy, man. He's just like, he's done his homework.
Let me go to the point about the vax companies.
Listen to this.
Attempting to gain ownership or hold military bases as collateral for the debt of the vaxxers which no one wants.
Okay, I'll explain to you that the whole world, like America was bankrupted, Trump bankrupted that 2018. So there's a lot gone on, folks. Okay, and all these these countries around the world have been running insolvent. Okay, and this is what's been going on. So there's been that much law broken here and that, and it's all going to come out in the end. But we're going through this little charade at the moment, folks, and this guy is going to tell you, it's going to get bad. They're going to try and make it bad. We, the people, need to make it good. We need to stand up.
No one's asked for, no one's voted for. Now they want to take ownership of the military bases. That's treason.
Yep.
It cannot be signed over to any foreign entity. Any entity outside the Commonwealth has no lawful right to own any Commonwealth assets. One being the military and the bases. Because that is an act of treason, which nullifies.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they want, folks. If they got our bases, you got to be understanding what's going on here and listen to the other show that I do over in America to know just what's happening and what's going down everywhere, okay?
Right.
And then making little tracks into the countries.
This is the rollout of the vaccines.
So they're opening up California. They're trying to open up Michigan, drive people out of there so it's open for the Chinese to be able to come in and attack through those states, okay?
It's an experimental program. We know that all these vaccines are experimental. We know that because we're told that, right? So I'm looking at the Sydney Morning Herald. The Australian Defence Force will support the private logistics and healthcare and private healthcare companies already providing vaccines at aged care facilities around the country, with the addition of ADF personnel and logistics teams, as well as more security and clerical staff. You can't operate, the Australian Army cannot operate under a private corporation. It's treason. You cannot do it lawfully. Right. And again, as I said, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if that entity you're working for is established under an Act of Parliament. If it has an ABN, if it's a trading company, there's two types of Commonwealth entities, right? There's a corporate Commonwealth entity, which is a Commonwealth entity that is a body corporate, that has an ABN number, and there is a non-corporate Commonwealth entity, which is a Commonwealth entity that is not a body corporate. Corporate Commonwealth entities are legally separate from the Commonwealth, whereas non-corporate Commonwealth entities are part of the Commonwealth. If it is legally separate from the Commonwealth, it is foreign from the Commonwealth. It is a foreign entity. Yeah, statutory, magistrates' courts, county courts, the police departments, with the ABNs. Yeah, they may be established under an Act of Parliament, but they are a separate legal entity because they are ABN holders. That's why a police officer is answerable only to the law.
Exactly.
Not to his or her senior officials or government. Mm-hmm. Because his office as a police officer, as a constable, is independent of government. Right? Okay.
So watch where he goes here now, folks. Okay, and I didn't know about them wanting to take over our military bases. Actually, I've been studying the bases. I don't know where that come from. That probably needs to be clarified. But I got people under that.
This little article here, I'm sure a lot of you have seen that by now.
I don't know what paper this was.
Police target protesters to safeguard rollout. Anti-vax war. Police are drawing up a hit list of anti-vax Protesters.
That's me and you,
fears
or me anyway.
Rats, hubs, and storage facilities could be targeted. Drawing up a hit list. People they want to kill. That's war.
So you got to listen to the language that these people use in the media, and right, they're instructed to use this language, and they need to tell us what they're going to do to us before they actually do it. I've told you this before, right? These people are like that. Okay, it's part of their structure in the evil side of the world. Okay, they need to display and tell us exactly what they're going to do to us, and here it is. It's written again. Okay, hit squads, people. Okay, I've told you about this. Okay, so listen to this guy, right?
They're waging war against free thought and against anyone who disagrees with the medical industry, who does not want to put that stuff in their body. They're waging war on them. That is in direct breach of the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006 Victoria, Section 14, 1 and 2.
Okay, so I've got another lady that's working with me now, and on Monday we're going to get together, and she's right up on all this stuff pretty well also. Okay, so we will find the corresponding one for New South Wales to do with this, but this guy's going to go talk about this one, but we should have something in New South Wales that correlates with it. And then he's going to go on to, the different things, like we've got the Nuremberg Code, he's already spoke of, and he'll go into these bio acts, etc. So let's, hear him out, folks. This is interesting stuff.
As well as the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 18, 1 and 2. Yep. I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to read those out right now.
Okay.
Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006 Victoria. Section 14. Freedom of thought, conscience, religion and belief. 1. Every person has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, religion and belief, including A, the freedom to have or adopt a religion or belief of his or her choice, and B, the freedom to demonstrate his or her religion or belief in worship, observance, practice, and teaching, either individually or as part of a community, in public or in private. Subsection 2. A person must not be coerced or restrained in a way that limits his or her freedom to have or adopt a religion or belief in worship, observance, practice, or teaching. In a free world, and that you have a choice, if you don't want to have something stuck into your body, right, that is known to have detrimental health effects, including death, that is one of your human rights. This article right here, by the mainstream media, is a direct violation. First of all, it's terrorism. It's a direct violation of that Article 14. Right?
So we'll go through a little bit, folks, because he's just still on Victorian. So I'll just go through a couple of minutes and he'll get on to...
as well as Article 15, the freedom of expression.
He'll get on to the stuff that are...
Yes. An international law document signed and ratified by the states. Okay. Yes, Victoria is a part of that.
Okay, so that's an international document that was signed here and ratified by all the states in Australia.
Victoria is a part of that.
Right.
Therefore, the covenant applies to only those persons acting in an official capacity. So if you're an official, you're bound by the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Okay? Let's talk about that.
And we're going to tell these people what they're bound by. Next week, we're going to start, people.
Article 18 for this one.
Oh, we're going for these polys.
Article 18, 1. Everyone shall have the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right shall include freedom to have or to adopt a religion or belief of his choice, and freedom, either individually or in a community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in worship, observance, practice, and teaching. No one shall be subject to coercion.
I might go backwards there a little bit, people. Sorry.
To people who are causing harm, who are breaching the peace, which is an arrestable offence in itself. And under Section 8 of the 1914 Crimes Act, any person has the right to arrest for a breach of the peace.
There you go. Another one.
Any person.
The Crimes Act.
Let us not forget Article 61 of the Magna Carta has been invoked.
There you go.
And we'll talk about that later.
So all this info's in there, right? The Magna Carta, the Commonwealth.
Okay. So no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one should be subjected without his free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. That is a non-derogable right, even during a state of emergency under international law, according to the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights.
So they just can't do it, folks. They cannot do what they're doing. Simple as that.
I hope you're enjoying the video. I don't have comments are coming up again, so I can't.
And I'm the same, folks. I can see your comments, but I can't comment on them, okay, in StreamYard.
And sharing it.
But I can see what everyone's putting in. Thank you. Just share it around, folks, for me. Hit the share button and the like button. I've got to get up the list a bit.
There's a light shining through it.
Yeah, good on it. I got the same in my background, buddy, at the moment.
Right. Why the public will not know which jab they are offered. This is from another article, another newspaper article. Health providers and doctors will be banned from revealing which COVID-19 vaccine they offer as Australia prepares to roll out 2 jabs at the same time. It prohibits GPs, pharmacies, and healthcare centres from, it says advertising. I'm saying disclosing because it's actually a disclosure of information that they're not doing. They're not disclosing information.
Yep.
So they're not disclosing which one they're offering, which vax they're offering.
And even so, folks, if any of you have seen the packaging that these so-called miracle jabs are coming in, okay, there is no contents in there, okay? There's a blank sheet of paper. When they open up the box to pull out the 5 vials or whatever's in that box, how many, okay, there is no instructions. It's a blank sheet, okay? I can show you that time and time again. We've got the videos of it. There is nothing on there, right? Everyone knows this is common knowledge to people who are in the know, okay? There is nothing on there. Ask any of your nurse friends that's opening these things up.
Right, so if we look at the Nuremberg Code.
Here we go. This guy's already done all the legwork for us, folks.
That's number 1 of the Nuremberg Code. Remember, these are precedents set by war crimes already committed. So pay attention to a public officer. Number 1, the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. Yep. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice, without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion.
Tell me which one of them they haven't broke, folks. Seriously. Which one haven't they broke?
I.e. police, military, going into old people's homes, scaring the absolute daylights out of them, administering with these things that they probably don't want.
Yep.
Okay? And should have sufficient knowledge and comprehension of the elements of the subject matter involved as to enable him to make an understanding and enlightened decision. And should have sufficient knowledge and comprehension of the elements of the subject matter involved. That would be what's in the vax, the elements of the subject matter being the vax, as to an understanding and enlightened decision.
Right, we're getting none of that information, folks. None of it. Okay, we'll just move up a little bit.
Yeah, that's putting anyone who's having second thoughts about vaccine under duress,
Yeah.
so that they don't have war claim against them. They're obviously under duress, which again is in direct violation of number 1 of the Nuremberg Code.
Everyone's under duress, folks. Look what they're doing to us. We're all locked in. It's duress.
No other coercion. Directly coercion.
Look at that. I love that ray of sunshine there.
It's coercion. Yep. It's duress and coercion by media tyranny. If you don't think that headline there is putting people who may not want to get the jab or are having second thoughts under coercion and duress by saying, hey, if you don't do it,
think again, folks. Yeah.
What's a hit list? It's a death list. People don't want to have war waged against them, so they're being coerced under duress to have their mind made up for them. Not even allowed to think and have an opinion anymore.
Just go for a little bit more and you'll be...
Copy of an Australian government document, information on COVID-19 Pfizer vax. And at the very bottom, where it's highlighted, it states, we currently do not know how effective C19 vax are at preventing spread of the virus. This means that SARS-CoV-2 could potentially still infect a vaxxed person. Even if they have no symptoms or only mild symptoms, they could still pass it on to others. Right, so what they're saying is that...
No, exactly what we're saying there. Let's get up to the...
Which hasn't had animal trials.
Get up to the... Where he's going to pull out the Constitution stuff.
To that Nuremberg Code, the experiment should be conducted only by scientifically qualified persons. I'm pretty sure that the military are not scientifically qualified persons to be carrying out this experiment, which is what it is. And 9, during the course of the experiment, the human subject should be at liberty to bring the experiment to an end if he has reached a physical or mental state where continuation of the experiment seems to him to be impossible.
Okay, we just got a touch more.
Duties and powers of police officers.
Here we go.
A police officer who has taken and subscribed the oath or made and subscribed the affirmation under Section 50 has A, the duties and powers of a constable at common law.
Common law, folks.
Period.
Not corporation law like they're under. Okay, they have an ABN number. I've explained this to you. If you don't know about it, on Monday we'll explain a bit more or you can look it up. But all these people are corporations people and you don't have to accept their contract when they give it to you, okay? That's the whole essence of this thing, okay, is that they are supplying you a contract, okay? And they just can't do it, right? If someone gives me a contract for work and I don't want to accept it, I don't have to accept it. It's the same thing with these, fraudulent corporations that are frontline as police and, powers to be.
Simple. Common law. The duties and powers of a constable of common law. Okay?
So you should, I haven't seen all of this, but I know I have before, but yeah, today I hadn't checked up, but
common law rights, human rights, scrutiny and the rule of law.
Okay.
Common law courts have power to provide significant protection of human rights principles, including the rule of law, except where specifically overridden by legislation. Must be valid legislation.
Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at some of the rights we have.
Right.
Or the people out there have. Freedom of movement. Every person lawfully within Victoria has the right to move freely within Victoria and to enter. Right? No lockdowns, no borders, no border closures, no ring of steel.
It's illegal,
folks. Reputation. Person has a right not to have his or her privacy, family, home correspondence unlawfully or arbitrarily interfered with. Unlawfully means if you're working under a directive that isn't ratified by Parliament,
It's
it means it's
unlawful.
unlawful.
Idiots.
It's not enforced.
Yeah.
And even if it is, you need to read the Act and make sure that it applies to private individuals. Right, 14, freedom of thought, conscience, religion and belief. Yep, we've talked about that. That goes to the heart of people having the right to freedom of speech and to speak about their beliefs and act on their beliefs so long as they don't interfere with another's right. The right to peaceful assembly and freedom of association, that's 16 of the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006. Every person has a right of peaceful assembly. Every person has a right to freedom of association with others, including the right to form and join trade unions.
Now, I'm thinking about it. Right, so I don't think we do have this thing in New South Wales, all right, and I'm just putting it out there. My memory's just going back to a couple of things and conversations I've had. What we can do is we can actually invoke this rule here into the New South Wales courts, as I remember. I'll have to check that, but I think that's how we can do it. We can actually invoke this rule into our court to be able to use it.
Protection of families and children. Families are the fundamental group unit of society are entitled to be protected by society and the state. Every child, as is in his or her best interest,
Just go for a bit more.
issue them a fine. That's kidnapping for ransom.
Okay, here we
Yep,
go.
that's what's defined.
We'll just go back and pick up this.
If you are forcing vaccines into people and they die, that is an arbitrary deprivation of life. Period. Article 7, no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one shall be subjected without his free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. Yep. No one shall be held in slavery. Slavery and the slave trade in all their forms shall be prohibited, and no one shall be held in servitude. By forcing people to do what you tell them, they are in slavery,
Yep.
period.
We're in slavery now, folks. Locked in. Well, they're ruining our economy. Want to jab us all. So, we'll move through a little bit. Who's going to...
And these rights go on
And on and on. Yep.
And then you've got the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the
Okay.
International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights,
All right, you gotta-
non-derogable rights during a state of emergency.
All right, we have all this going for us, folks. We just need to speak up,
86 of the
unite.
International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
That's what we're going to be doing next
has
week.
the inherent right to life. That right shall be protected by law. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his life. If you are forcing vaccines into people and they die, that is an arbitrary deprivation of life. Period. Article 7, no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one shall be subjected without his free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. Yep. No one shall be held in slavery. Slavery in the slave trade. Or contracting to a private contractor whilst wearing your uniform.
Okay, so here's a bit about,
Unless you do something to avert that. B, carrying out the conduct is the only reasonable way that the threatened harm can be avoided. And C, the conduct is reasonable
just
under the law against such interference or attacks. Everyone as a member of society has the right to social security and is entitled to realise international cooperation and in accordance with the organisation and resources of each state of the economic, social and cultural rights indispensable for his dignity and the free development of his personality. Here's a good one, Article 19, Article 21, subsection 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government.
Okay, so again, it's just going through to where we stand, folks, okay, and what we've got backing us up, right? Okay,
A public officer or a medical officer,
backing us
you're
up.
working for the politicians, the corporate lying
Corporates,
politicians,
right? Corporations.
the corrupt politicians and media who are giving out directives. Let's go back to a directive, shall we?
Okay, so he's going to go back
What
and
is a
then
directive?
talk about a bit of
A directive, an order or command to someone to do something. Or a direction, an order which explains by definition orders legislation.
Okay, so on
by ministers.
Monday we're going to do a little bit more on this, but this is a video that you need to watch. All right, we've skipped through it and gone through bits, but sit down and watch it. So it goes for, let's have a look, goes for 1 hour and 24. Okay, but the information that this guy, right, he's already done the legwork for you people. Look, it's all there. Okay, everything. He explains a lot. Well, I'll also do more over the weekend, and on Monday when we do something, we'll just have a chat about how we're going to get to our politicians here and get them to stand up. But folks, it's time, all right, because it's really happening. All right, have a look at my side. Have a look at what's happening around the world at the moment. Okay, it's not good. Okay, this guy here breaks down all your common law for you, and he goes through every article, all right, that there is out there, from the Bioweapons Act to the Privacy Act to the Constitution to the Magna Carta, okay, and tells you where you can find them and what clauses you need to look at. And so we're going to put that together. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some petitions out there. I put one out for Craig Kelly. I've got a lady that sent me another couple that I just had to get Mel to help me with because I need to get them over and in here properly and, write something on them for my people sort of let's get it out there, folks, and get these things signed, all right? Then Monday, we're going to put out the emails to the politicians, okay, and we're going to do up a draft email where you can just take it in, change, your name from whatever it is or fill in your name box, and then send, put your details and send it off, okay? But this is what we've got to start doing, right? We want to flood their inboxes. We want to make these people, they have rules and laws that they have to live by, okay? Even though they're a corporation and they're full of shit, they still have to deal with certain things. And if they get X amount of flow into their office on certain topics, they have to address them, okay? So that's how we're going to do it, folks, okay? We've got another lady who's going to come on board with us, and she's got a couple of Facebook pages out there in the community, and we're going to bang this thing and we're going to push it and we're going to hit our pollies. Okay. So that's it, folks. Okay. Have a good weekend. Hopefully the rain stays away and that wind drops and we can all get out there and do a bit of living because that's what we need to do. We need the vitamin D and there's stuff on my site about, and look, people, there's natural, the HCQ and the IVA is going to work for you, okay? I'm telling you, it's going to help you out, okay? It's pretty simple, all right? Not their miracle jab. And why we got, Queensland passed a law, okay? You've seen the video of it if you've been watching me. Passed a law that if any doctor happens to, push the hydroxy, you've got to watch what I say, or the ivermectin, okay? They are liable to 6 months in jail. Okay, now why would you do it, folks? Just have a look at everything that's going on with you, okay? Because like I said this morning on the live, if you can't feel that there's something wrong with the Earth's vibration at the moment, you are not alive and you are not awake, okay? So wake up, okay? Nature's yelling at us, okay? It's happening all around the world, folks, okay? They're manipulating the weather. They're doing everything they have to cause chaos around the world, okay? These evil satanic bastards. So using the deep state and whoever else, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergs, who they all are, the royalties. Okay, so people, we need to stand up and unite, and we need to start hitting these people. So Monday, we're going to have a game plan on how we're going to actually do this, how we're going to target them. I'll have all their emails, et cetera, and we've got a new lady I just saw come across Facebook looking for, wanting to be the mayor of Wollongong. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. I just see one of my mates has actually liked it. So I'm going to send her a message too, and we'll see what her what her thoughts are on what should be happening here with this stupid, lockdown and slavery that they've got us in. And see whether she wants a heap of votes, because she wants to do the right thing by us people. I'm sure we'd all give her a vote to be the mayor of this town. But we want someone in here who's going to do the right thing and going to do what we, the people, know need to be done. So I'm going to leave it at that. Everyone have a great weekend. I'll end this now. Thanks to all the people in America that are still watching and around. I can see you all there. And everyone in Australia, have a good think over the weekend about what's going on here, okay? And let's watch the 11 o'clock Gladys Berejiklian and Fool show, okay? And see just how they can lock us down even more. Apparently that's what Mel tells me they're out to do, okay? They're going to try and lock us down more. I don't know how. But anyway, have a look. Everything's shut now except the big corporations, folks. Have a look. Only people that are open, man, more or less, your little pie shops, your fish and chip shops, they're open. But, mate, we were in Wollongong yesterday. I got a video in Wollongong in the mall. Most things are shut. Everyone's masked up. Everyone's Q code. And, the more we do that and conform people, the more it's going to screw us, okay? So let's wake up. Let's have a look around, see what's going on, see that we've been duped, and all help each other get out of this mess. And that will be by uniting as people. Okay, have a great weekend, folks. I wish everyone all the best. Bye.